All right, y'all. What's up? Yeah, Jason, I think there's 14, 16 now on Facebook, but we've got the mentors, prospective mentors that wanted more information on the program signed up on Zoom, and I'm looking at them. So I'll be going back and forth, looking at Facebook Live, and then, of course, talking directly to the Angela, Becky, James, and Lori. All right, we're going to get this started. I've got a PowerPoint put together that we're going to go through. Now, let me just say, this is like anything else that we do. As we get into it, there's going to be unforeseen obstacles. But I think we're prepared to address those obstacles and be able to remedy any obstacles that come up fairly quickly with this new mentor program. We've even attempted this in a half-butt way a year or two ago, and we just didn't spend the time thinking it out like we should have. We do believe that we have thought it out the right way this time based upon what we're capable of as a ministry. Hey, Sandy, good to have you with us too, bro. Got let's see, Crystal and James and Lori's with. All right, Angela, Becky, good to have y'all. So here's the deal. Shibboleth, let me just start off the right way. Bless the name of the Lord at all times. And let's acknowledge him in all of our ways, with all of our ways. And I think that even includes our eating habits. Sasha and I just had a meeting, and we were talking about how far the Lord's brought Shibboleth in that there's been a recorded, and most people don't even journal, recorded in the journal, 2,600,000 pounds lost, over 7 million inches lost that's been recorded in our members' journals. And that number's getting larger every single day. Bless the name of the Lord. And a lot of the good that's been accomplished has been accomplished not by me. That's not to discount myself. Not by Sasha. That's not to discount Sasha. Not by Jason. Not by Brooke. Not by any team member. We've all, Christy, all of us, Kim, we have definitely been a part of the success here. However, every team member feels this way. What's really made Shibboleth special, we would say number one, is it being a faith-based ministry and putting first things first, and that is blessing the name of the Lord in our own weak way. And then number two, our members helping each other. Bible says, and I'm paraphrasing, says, no greater love does someone have than that they lay down their life for their brother or sister. And that's what, anytime, even though you're not looking for credit, you're not seeking credit for it, anytime you invest your time is the most precious of all things that we have. Anytime you invest your time in helping someone do what you've done, you're laying part of your life down to help them, to bless them. And we have felt like for a time, we need to set some structure for those that are helping and mentoring others. There are some pitfalls. There are some blessings. And what we have as this thing continues to grow, and it grows without the coffers growing. The program, if you're getting into this to be a rich person, that's not going to happen. So the coffers don't grow because everything that comes in has to be reinvested back into it to make it a program that people everywhere even want to do. And when you get into something like this and you are investing your time in other people, it's a blessing. And we're at a place where it keeps growing so rapidly, people just start mentoring one another. And we'll never be able to stop that, nor do we want to stop that. It's why there's been some success. However, we need a way for those that are mentoring to be able to plug in to a 20-year knowledge base. I've been doing this going on 20 years, and we need a way that allows those people that are asking questions, what do I tell this person and that person about the program, how to get through, break through a wall, how to deal with this medical issue or that. We need a way, some structure for those that really want to be legit mentors who feel a call to do it, to be able to plug in to our knowledge base and get the help they need while they're trying to invest time in and help others. So we've come up with some structure that will help those that are seeking mentorship. They want to be Jason calls them mentees. I don't know if that's the right term, but that's what he calls them. And that's what we all around here have affectionately called those that want help, a mentee. And then you got the mentor. Well, we need a way to connect those that are really well-trained mentors to those that really want help, mentees. Some people come here and they don't want no help. They don't want to be bothered. They don't want a phone call. They don't want an email. They're either going to do it or they're not, and they just don't want to be bothered, and that's fine. But for those that really believe that they want and need that help, we've got a mechanism now to connect the two parties together. And hopefully a mechanism that will even get better over time that will allow people of like kind of a like philosophy on life, or maybe they're in the same place, get them connected together with these different search engines we've put in place, so that you can be connected with somebody that's more your style. I give you an example. It's a good example, I think. So some people, they only want me to teach them. Some people only want Jason to teach them. Some people only want Brooklyn to teach them because they've got some rapport with that person. So you take my daughter, Brooklyn. She is continuing to struggle with her weight, but she knows the program. She's struggling with the neck up part, right? So she's struggling. Well, when I try to teach someone that wants Brooklyn to teach them, it never goes well for me. They don't feel that I understand them. Maybe I've kept my weight off for too long, or they feel like I'm more disciplined than them, and I don't understand what they're going through. But yet Brooklyn does understand what they're going through because she's still struggling too. So what's going to happen is you're going to be able to connect with somebody that, let's say that I've got a person that's 350 pounds, and here I am weighing 195, and they think I can't relate to them. I can't relate to their struggle. I mean, here this goofball is telling me losing weight's easy and I'm struggling. So see, they may not jive with me. They may when they get closer to their goal, but right now they can't jive. So they'll be able to set a filter and pick out and find somebody that's maybe 30 pounds lighter than them, that's had some success, but they're on their journey too. So we've got all these mechanisms that I think for somebody that have heard the call, feel the call, they're going to be really excited about the new structure that we've got in place. As we get started here, a little more housekeeping. In the Zoom video, maybe try, if you've somebody saying they lost their video stream on Facebook, maybe try to refresh, because I can still see it on this end. Maybe try to refresh, Bobby. But if you're in the Zoom app and you want to chat, just make sure that you set the chat to all panelists and all attendees. All panelists and all attendees. That way we can all connect with each other. Lori, Angela, Becky, Crystal, James. If you have a question, hey, Angela just said hello back to me. Just set your chat to all panelists and attendees. We're going to get this thing started. I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint. Bear with me. We're on about a 2, 3, 4 second delay. So I'll be on a little delay. So let me get this set up for you. I think this is it. boom, bada boom. Share my screen. All right. Here we go. Should be able to see my screen now, both in the Zoom app and on Facebook. All right, first things first, we have put together a volunteer mentor support group. So as we have mentors that are getting into this, we've made a way so that it will only be for mentors. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But you may have questions. It's best for mentors not to ask questions about mentoring in front of the people they're going to be mentoring. So, because, somebody might get their feelings hurt, there might be some private information or whatever. So you come to the mentor group. This is where the mentors will be to ask questions, and our team will monitor this daily to make sure that you have the tools and resources you need, as is to the best of our ability, tools and resources you need to mentor people adequately. And so that anytime you don't know an answer for sure, it's best to ask us, okay? Where will you go to get in that group? Well, you'll go to facebook.com/groups/Shibboleth Mentor. Facebook.com/groups/Shibboleth Mentor. All right. Now, in order to participate and be a mentor, you have to meet this criteria. Our website will not even allow you to become a mentor until you meet this very easy criteria, because it hurts feelings, but ain't nobody got no business being no mentor until they're doing what it takes to be successful. Even if you haven't hit your goal weight, you still need to be doing what it takes to be successful. In fact, we're going to be going over this with our team that gets paid, because we all slip, and we've got some that have slipped. I do not think that you can help someone get to a place that you've never been. I don't think that you can help someone get to a place that you've never been. I don't think you can help someone overcome something until you've overcome it. First of all, you have to have the problem to be an overcomer. The problem is a blessing if you're willing to put the effort in and to overcome it. So here we've got our group and the criteria. Hey, Denise, what's up? Here's the criteria. In order to participate, you must be journaling online or in the app, because the app syncs with the journal online. You must have lost 10% of your body weight and have earned your Phase 1 badge, or you cannot be a mentor. So what does that mean? Well, I feel the call, then prove it, right? Prove it. Back in the day when I was in the ministry, have some young person say, I'm called to be a preacher. And who knows what's on one's heart? God is the seer into the heart. It's not my job to say you are or you aren't. In fact, I'd rather try to talk somebody out of it than into it. Because if you can talk them out of it, God didn't call them. So I'd rather try to say, just be sure it's more of a burden than you think. But then they got to have some sort of knowledge of the scriptures, right? They got to have some sort of knowledge of repentance, right? They got to have some kind of knowledge of what it's like to walk in step with the Holy Spirit, right? They've got to have some kind of knowledge on what it's like to walk in the Holy Spirit for a while and then slip up and fall and pick themselves back up. You've got to have had a walk in order to share the walk. And that's what this is about. So if you've lost 10% of your starting weight, let's say you started Shibboleth at 300 pounds, you recorded that, and you've lost 30, you got a check mark there. Let's say that you watched all the daily doses and took the test and passed the test and earned a badge. You got the other check mark, and you're good to go. Because if you earn the badge, you're obviously recording your journal online. So that's the only criteria. Certainly there will be some say, well, shouldn't they have lost a lot more weight than 10%? I don't think so. I've learned some valuable lessons here. And with the former program I was with, some people relate better to those mentors who are still struggling themselves, not have given themselves back over to a food addiction, but have 100 to lose and have lost 30. Some people just connect better with those folks, right? So that's why I don't think you have to reach a goal in order to be a good mentor, a great mentor. And in fact, what I have found is that it even helps the mentor who is struggling, because now you've got some built-in accountability as well, because you know that you have someone expecting you to mentor them, and it puts some added pressure, positive pressure on you to perform as well. Hope that makes sense. Let's look at the definition of what a mentor is. It says, number one, the noun, an experienced and trusted advisor. So to be a good mentor, you have to have experience. We just addressed that. And you got to be a trusted advisor. You need to create trust. Number one, don't be talking about your mentees behind their back. Don't be talking about them. If you need to talk about them, you need to vent to me or Sasha about them. Okay? So you need to be a trusted advisor, a trusted confidant, a trusted friend. You know, you got to think like a lawyer, I guess. You've got attorney-client privilege. Well, you've got, because you'll hear things when you're dealing with mentees. Sometimes we have to really dig deep to find out what this eating behavior is about, and you may find out that the food addiction isn't their number one problem. And you'll hear some things where somebody's very, very vulnerable, and they're sharing something very, very vulnerable about a spousal relationship, or you wish they wouldn't oftentimes, but these things occur, and you've got to be a trusted advisor. You want this person to trust you, okay? You don't necessarily need to trust them. I've made that mistake. You know, you as a mentor, you need to be careful about what you tell people, because it'll spread like gossip and wildfire. That's what these gray hairs is about, experience. But you have to be able to be trusted. You have to remember this too. This isn't necessarily, it can become this, but this isn't necessarily a friendship. Okay? They got enough friends. I'm not saying you can't be their friend, oh hard Travis. They got plenty of friends, but they may not have a good mentor. Sometimes you have to wound them without being too mean. The wounds of a friend are faithful. The kisses of the enemy deceitful. You got somebody that just ain't making any progress, and you've helped them, you've invested in them. It may be time for you to say, you know, if you're not going to take what I'm telling you seriously, I still love you, care about you, want to mentor you, but maybe you need to find another mentor that can help move you forward. Sometimes you have to be honest with people, right? They got plenty of friends. I tell my kids say, I just wished you'd been more of my friend, Daddy. Growing up, I wished you'd been more of my friend. And I said to them one time, you've got plenty of friends. You don't need any more friends. But you do need a daddy. You do need a father. And I'm the only one that you will ever have. Certainly, they've got a stepfather in their life that's a wonderful stepfather now. So they got a bonus dad. But I'll be their only daddy, right? So you may be the only person that isn't just giving them lip service and telling them what they want to hear. Okay. Next, the verb is to advise or train. That's your role here. You're offering advice with this stipulation always. What's right for me may not be right for you. You need to check with your physician. But here's what I do, and here's what my advice is. But again, as you as a mentor should learn this statement. Again, what's right for me may not be right for you. So please consult your physician. There are two physicians that trump anything a mentor says, or two people. The great physician and their primary care physician. So always remember that. Laura, my device will not support Flash any other way to watch. Not today, but I am recording this. And if you'll let me know that you're eligible to be a mentor and want to be a mentor, I'll send you the recording of the video. Volunteering. This is a tightrope for me to walk here. Let me talk to you about what we've encountered and why we've encountered it. Volunteering is how I started. I had no thoughts of ever getting in a weight loss in a wellness industry, much less turning it into a ministry or a vocation, a career. Never any interest in that. I simply had a major problem. Something happened. Enough things happened in my life. Then there was a straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. I lost the weight, had a background in sports nutrition, just never had the self-discipline to apply it. I got my why right because of something that was said to me and happened to me and the medical issues that I was having, coupled with having children. And I knew I needed to change. So I started. And I lost the weight. I was heavily involved in church. People began to ask me what I did, just like they do. Those of you that have been successful, you know exactly we're all walking the same walk. This is how I started, the same way you're starting. People say, would you talk to me about it? Would you take me to the grocery store? Would you do this? Would you do that? Would you write a meal plan? I did all of that. And it was my good pleasure to do it with never a singular thought of getting paid. Never. I had a job, and that's what I did. And then I spent the rest of my time in the church. And then I began to do grocery tours every single Saturday. And I did that for free for 3 years. And then it got to a place where I had to quit. It was affecting my job. And when I thought about quitting, some community leaders said, you're a well-known institution here doing them free grocery tours. We can't imagine what it would be like showing up on a Saturday and you not walking through the grocery store with 20, 30 people. You should do this as a career. I said, don't nobody ever pay me to do this career, and I got to feed my family. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. I was wrong. And I started Thrive Weight Loss, and it exploded. That's another story we won't get into. But I said that to say I started with no desire that I'd find my purpose, or no thought of finding my purpose, but yet I found it. I found it. And I love helping people with this. It has its ups and its downs. It's a struggle, but it's a struggle I willingly, gladly, happily embrace. The Bible says that he or she that finds the kingdom of heaven will find it and receive it gladly. And that's kind of what I found. Even through the hard days and the hardship, I receive the call gladly. And I hope we will run into others that will receive that call gladly as well. It's a call. How do you know that it's a calling to do this, to help people? You cannot not do it. Should have put a comma there. You cannot not do it. You're immersed in it. You're not doing it for vainglory. You're not doing it for recognition. There's just some sort of butterfly, some sort of thing that goes on in the heart. Anytime you're helping somebody, and when you see them be successful, you just feel so purposeful. And it's not for everybody, but you cannot not do it. That's how you know. Will you have people that's interested in being a mentor? Yes. But it's likely they won't stick to it long because their purpose and calling is something else. Sometimes what we want to do isn't what God's called us to do or what we should be doing. But if it is, you cannot not do it or you're miserable. I'm not saying I know people right now that are called to do this full time. And they're miserable because they're not doing this full time. And the conversation usually goes something like this. I make $72,000 a year, Travis, but I feel called to do this. Can you replace my income? And I go, I make half what you make. So no, I can't. And they're miserable on a job. Just miserable. Maybe they've lived up to their means too long and they can't get out of it. But my point is, you're never going to be satisfied in life until you find that thing that you cannot not do, that you have to do it. And if you have to do it and you feel that, and you spend enough time doing it to know that you got to do it, you're going to be miserable if you don't do it. We're looking for those people. This volunteer mentor thing is really a great vetting tool for us to find great mentors like Jason Whitener. Jason's textbook, he would have done it for free, didn't have to do it for free, but has carved himself out an okay living doing what he loves to do, and he's called to do it. And that's what we're looking for. This is a great vetting process here. Another big one here. You're willing to live it yourself. We've already touched on this, but I would not have any credibility. My team members can get away with backsliding for prolonged periods of time. But honestly, at the end of the day, if I backslide, y'all think about it, you're not going to let me off the hook. If 6 months from now I'm back at 300 pounds and you see me do a live video, I'm not going to have much credibility with you. Our team members might get away with it, but you want to know that there's somebody that believes in this enough to live it. So you have to be, if you're going to be good at it, and I think this, if you ain't good at it and still ain't willing to get good at it, you probably ought not be doing it. You've got to be willing to live this yourself and be good at it if you're going to be a good mentor, especially for those of you that see being a volunteer mentor and then transitioning over into a full-time type of mentor. You've got to be willing to live it, every part of it. Every part of it. That's how you inspire people. That's how you get people's attention. It's Bible. It's not the hearers of the word that's justified, it's the doers, isn't it? The doers are justified. Another thing, not trying to talk you out of it too bad today, but maybe a little. It's often a thankless job, and it is a job. Well, I thought it was a ministry. Well, even Jesus said, where'd you think I was? I must be about my Father's ministry? Is that what he said? I don't think so. He said, I must be about my Father's business. Those of you that approach this, whether mentoring 1 or 1,000, and you get to pick the number you want to mentor. I'm going to show you all that today. The ones that are organized enough and approaching it more like it's, hey, this is the Father's business I'm doing. It is a job. And it's often a thankless job from if you're looking for thanks from the mentee. Sometimes you get a lot of thanks. I've been given a goat before. So they was thanking me in their own way. Give me a goat. It's often a thankless job if you're looking only for thanks from the mentee or looking for thanks from in a material way. There's that movie, Facing the Giants. Great movie. Love the movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But when the old ball coach give his heart and life to Jesus, somebody snuck around, went and bought him a brand new Ford F-150 or something like that. He needed a truck. Wife was pregnant. Needed a truck. Somebody went and snuck and bought him a truck. Give him a truck. Well, if you're gonna mentor folks and you're gonna wait around on somebody to surprise you with an F-150, it's probably not gonna happen unless he owns a car dealership like in the movie. But my point here is you got to do it for a greater type of thanks, because it's not a thankless pursuit. Some of the people that I've mentored through the years have sustained me when I was sleeping in my floor. That's another story too. But they've sustained me through hard times, and it didn't even come when I was mentoring them. Come years after the fact. And the Bible says that the sleep of a laboring person is sweet. Here's what that means to me. When I'm doing what I've been called to do and I'm doing my best with it, when I lay my head on my pillow, I hear, and I'm beating myself up at night. I do that a lot, and you probably do too. But every once in a while I hear, "This is my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased." That's the kind of thanks that we should all pursue. The other type of thanks will fall in line when you need it the most, like it did for me. There's been times we about have to shut the door, and God would tell me, "Ask and you shall receive." And certainly I'd let people know there's a need, or we're going to close the doors, and it'd show up and we'd be able to pay the bills. So God is just good. And 100 years from now, it ain't going to matter what we've accumulated in materials, but what will matter is the difference we make and whether we bless the name of the Lord or not. Some rules for staying away from trouble. Here's some rules for staying away from trouble, and there will be more rules. Rule number 1, never, ever answer medically related questions. They will inadvertently try to even trick you into it. Never pretend to be something that you're not. People will appreciate that too. They won't. You say, "What credentials do I have?" You're an overcomer. Never answer medically related questions. Anything to do with gout, diabetes, acid reflux. If it even feels my knee hurts, your answer should be, "I can't help you with that. You need to seek your medical professional, ask them for advice, or seek the great physician above. All I can do is share with you what has worked for me. I'm not qualified to give you medical information. We don't treat, cure, diagnose, prescribe, or claim to do any of that stuff." And then oftentimes a mentee will say to you, "My doctor don't know. I'd rather hear from you." Then you need to reinforce it again. Again, I'm going to tell you what I do, but you need to seek a physician's care. Okay. Rule 2, never agree to meet anyone in person or request that they meet you in person. If you're going to be an official mentor, I'm not saying that this subject this matter won't happen, But I'd run it by us. If anyone's requesting to meet you in person and offline, it's not good to do that on almost all occasions unless you sponsored this person, signed them up, and you know them and y'all are friends. If you don't know somebody, never agree to meet them in person. And if they request to meet you in person, you feel led to do it, kind of tell us what's going on, let us advise you there, and then you may decide it's the right thing to do. But definitely don't request that they meet you in person. For you to request it is a big, big no. Don't do it. Please don't do it. If they invite you to church, go to church, whatever. But don't be asking them to meet you at the Starbucks to talk about this. Don't do it. Big no. Big no. Rule number 3. As you get to know the person, you're going to see them. So there's a honeymoon period. You're going to see their best behavior. I'm going to show you how to get out of mentoring somebody that's a butthole. I'm going to show you all that in a few minutes. But never take anything personally when the honeymoon period's over. Okay? If you take things personally, easily, this is not right for you. Goes back to that thankless, sometimes it's a thankless thing. Never take it personally. You would not believe the stuff I see said about me on Facebook, and oftentimes it's somebody I have tried to help and invested hours in. I used to take that stuff personally. You can. And as long as you don't, and as long as you don't attack back, they'll come full circle. Then you get to decide if you want to make them eat crow or you want to help them or whatever your philosophy is on that. But don't take stuff personally. Number 4, just be ready for change. There's always more rules as we run into new obstacles. Now I'm going to show you how to go see this stuff, find this stuff. I'm going to show you where to go in your profile to see if you can be a mentor. And I'm going to show you where to see the mentor list. So I'm going to stop the share screen right now and answer a few questions, and then I'm going to share the website with you and show you where to go to see if you can be a mentor, how to find a mentor, all that good stuff. All right, how's my Zoom people doing? Still got 5 with us in Zoom, got 6 with us in Facebook. Hey, Missy. Hey there. All right, I'm going to pull up the website, and I'll start sharing it with you just in a minute here. All right, let me share. All right, I'm in here in the training profile. So what I've done here is I went to myshibboleth.com and I've logged in. I love to see these pounds lost piling up. Man, that little meter's just a moving. This is real too, y'all. Check that out. 2,611,000 pounds. Crazy. All right. First thing I'm going to do after I log in is I'm going to go, thank you, Penny. I am. Thank you so much. I'm going to go to the profile. I'm in the profile now. I'm in the profile. In my profile, as I scroll down, I find the mentor section of my profile. Everybody see that? And it says, are you a mentor? No. And what the client limit is? None. In other words, I can't mentor. and I can't set my client limit. Because we might have mentors that just want to work with one person at a time. So let's talk about this for a moment. Once you earn the phase 1 badge and have lost 10% of your body weight, you've watched the daily dosage, took the test, passed test, earned the badge, you've lost 10% of your body weight, earned your pink t-shirt and your journaling, you can then go in and it will let you, set this to yes. You can become a mentor. Don't know how much we'll get into this today, but we'll get into it a little in case you have questions, and then I'll address it one time real quickly at the end. Do you get paid for being a mentor? You can. We also have a number of people that want to mentor and don't want to get paid because they feel that they want to do this freely. They want to invest in people freely, and receiving compensation for it makes them feel yucky. Then you have people that want to invest in people but also want to receive compensation. That doesn't mean we're putting you on payroll. It's not time for that. But I'm going to give you an email address later. And for those that want to know, how can I supplement myself a little bit by mentoring people? I'll show you how I did it. That's all I can do. But we want you to know whether we don't feel you're yucky if you want to get compensated, and we don't feel any way about it. We only feel yucky about it when it's somebody that only wants to do it for pay. Then we feel yucky about it. Not that they should, but they need to get probably need to look at, a Weight Watchers type of job or something like that. Or a dietitian or nutritionist. And we can advise if you don't love it, but you'd like to do it. It's better than working at the meal, and that's how you feel about it. Then maybe you look at going and seeking out a career in it. But if you're wanting to do it as a ministry, there's definitely ways that you can supplement yourself and maximize what you supplement yourself, but always have a heart that would do it for free. But either way, we've got a plan and a path for you. So once you do that, you'll be able to establish you want to be a mentor. You'll also be able to establish the number of clients that you want to work with at one time. Don't bite off more than you can chew. If you get a reputation for being a great mentor, don't be afraid to tell somebody no. If you don't want to ever get burned out, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew. We know that people will bite off more than they can chew. We know that people will have somebody that they love to death, but they just can't work with them anymore because they just can't work with them. They're exhausting them. Well, of course, you'll be able to say with a button, you don't want to be the mentor anymore. I'm going to show you how to do that. But maybe you like them enough that you don't want to be the one to have to tell them that you don't want to be their mentor anymore. So we've set it up so that after 30 days of this mentorship, after you've mentored one person for 30 days, on the 31st day, you're no longer their mentor and you won't show up in their journal. That way you don't have to tell somebody, I just don't want to work with you anymore. Now, you may have those people that you just say, I ain't working with you anymore, and you click the button, bye, and that'll be okay. But I'm not that way. I doubt you're that way. I'd rather it just time out on them. Then I can say whatever I need to do to not hurt their feelings, like I'm not taking any more right now. I got a lot of family obligations. And so after 30 days, if you still want to mentor a person that still wants you to mentor them, then they have to select you again. So it's a 30-day arrangement so that both parties can easily get out of it without hurting one another's feelings. So the connection is 30 days. I hope that makes sense. We may come up with a better way later. But here in the profile, if you're eligible, you'll be able to say yes to this and set your client limit. If you're doing this as a volunteer thing only, seeking no compensation whatsoever, I would say limit it to 3 to 5. One's fine with me. Helping one person is worth it. Okay. So that's that. Now, in this training profile, I've set up both a mentor relationship and a mentee relationship. Let me show you how you establish that once you've selected, yes, you want to be a mentor and selected the number. The people that want a mentor will go into resources. The folks that want a mentor will go into resources, scroll down and look and see who the active mentors are. I select active mentors. And here I've got my search filter. We'll make that look prettier later. It's very functional. I'll show you how it works. And you can see some folks have already found this and have already decided they want to be a mentor. Aaliyah, Becky, Denise, Joseph, Sandy, and then my developer, Sergey. This is where you would show up if you wanted to be a mentor. The people looking for a great mentor, they can see the badges you've earned. They can see kind of where you're at in your journey. Now, let's say that you can search for a username. Let's say you just sponsored someone and they want you to be their mentor. They could just come in here and find you with a quick search. But let's say they don't know, they need somebody new, they need somebody that they don't know in personally, so they can just be told like it is or whatever. They can come in here and select if they want a female mentor or a male mentor. So let's say they want to be I'm a person who needs help and I'm looking for a female mentor. And my weight is, let's say I'm 400 pounds and I don't want to work with anybody that's 140 pounds. I can come in here and I can select, I want a mentor that's 250 pounds up to 400 pounds. This lets me know I'm selecting a woman. I do better with women mentoring me. I'm selecting somebody who's obviously qualified to be a mentor, but is still battling weight issues. You can select what their goal weight is. Maybe I'll have something to see if you've got something in common. The more you filter this, the less options you're going to get, though. You can even come down here and select somebody your age. You can select their birth year. So I'm going to put 1965. I want them to be around my age. And then I click apply. And because we have a short list right now, that my only option based upon that search is Sandy. Sandy has earned all these badges. Looks like she's been around here for a while. She's been a member since 2012. She last logged in October 9th. She's from Dallas, Georgia. She weighs 333, but her goal's 160. That's my girl. So then I can request. See, I've already got a mentor, so it won't let me request. But if I didn't already have a mentor, it would give me the option to request Sandy. then the system would send Sandy a message, and it's up to her to agree to that request or not. The only hang-up I would have with Sandy is, and it's another good thing for you to think through, she's not logging in. She hadn't logged in almost 9 days. So she may not even see my request. So you may want to look for somebody that's more active. Not knocking Sandy, this is a training situation. If you're looking for a mentor, you may want to look for somebody that's logging in every day so they see the request. Up here is where you see your emails. This is your notifications. This is your emails. System notifications, emails. Hope that makes sense. I'll come out of here and answer questions in a moment. Once I selected my mentor and the mentor wants to mentor me, they'll show up here. Their profile will show up in my journal. Okay, because this is part of my journal here. They'll show up in my journal. It'll show their picture. And I click on my mentor. I can view their profile. I can send them a message or remove them. I won't be able to schedule an appointment with them. That's going away. But I'll be able to view their profile. I can go to Sandy's profile and check out this is Sergey. He's actually my mentor. But I can look at all of this data on them to make sure we're compatible, or to make sure they're doing what they're telling me to do. I can look at their favorite foods. It's a really cool relationship to have between a mentor and a mentee. And oftentimes the mentor will learn more than the mentee, because you're going to want to keep up with this stuff if you're trying to get somebody else to keep up with it, right? Okay. So I can send them messages and whatnot. Let's look at the other side of this relationship. I'm going to go to resources. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm going to go to journal. My apologies. Back to, you can find everything in the journal. I'm going to look at, let's say now I'm looking at who am I menteeing? Who am I helping? So I go to my clients. Right here's the client button. It's in my journal. I click the client and it shows me who my mentees are. Who are my clients? Who am I helping? It shows their phone number if listed, and it shows what I can do to help them, what they're doing. So in other words, I'm checking on my client. I click action and I go to their calendar. That's the place you're going to want to go. I go to their weekly timing chart. It's their calendar. And I want to click. I started mentoring them yesterday. They had a holiday. I see that my client had a holiday. And I click on it. And it shows me everything that went on with them yesterday. What kind of day they had, what their motivation is like, what their weight is, what they ate, what their supplements were, any picture of their meals. I can see it all so that I can help this client of mine. And there'll be some days they're complaining about not losing weight, and you'll go look and they haven't recorded anything, or they've recorded a half a day. Journaling's everything, y'all. You're able then to go in here and go, well, you had a quarter cup of pumpkin seeds and cheesesteak pasta, and I look at your portion and it looks good, but is that all you ate yesterday? Well, no. Went to the restaurant, had a whole thing of nachos and cheese dip, Texas fajita nachos, more cheese dip, and a margarita. Why didn't you put that in there? Well, I knew that was bad. Well, we want you to put that in there too. See, that's how you mentor somebody. If they're not putting anything in here, and they're wanting you to help them, you just need to tell them, I can't help you until you journal. Got to journal. It's the way, it's the path forward and the path to success. We've made this real easy for you to connect, whether you're wanting help or wanting to give help. We've made the relationship so that both of you have transparency in holding each other accountable. And we think you'll make, even though I said be careful of, you're the mentor, not the friend, we think you'll make some friends for life through this process too. So I'm going to stop this now, see what questions you have. Let's see. Question over here. I believe it's from, she's already gone though. How many mentees do you recommend to start with? Lunch hour was over. Got to go. I would recommend maybe just one, no more than 5, and just see how it goes. Idea to improve search, show my goals is to lose 6.9s left, but my original goal was to lose 102. We can work on that in the future. Keep in mind, all of this programming costs lots of money, but certainly the collection of ideas for the future of it is very, very good. And it's things that we can put down and prioritize the spending the money on that. Anybody been in web development knows how much it costs, and this was no inexpensive feature, lots of hours, lots of cost. Why do we do it? We want to see lives changed, and we realize your value as an experienced member in helping us help more people. Great idea. We'll inventory that one. Any other questions or comments thus far? Okay. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. We're about done. Bear with me. Hopefully y'all are finding it's pretty simple. Sometimes when you're the one involved in it, like I was, it looks simple to you, but may not be simple to someone else. So I certainly understand that. Let me share my PowerPoint with you and we'll get done with this thing. All right. So we went over where to find the active mentors, how to become an active mentor. You want people to pick you, right? You want people to pick you. If you're a preacher, well, you need opportunities to preach, right? So you want to market yourself. And of course, if you're sponsoring people, you've referred somebody and you're a mentor to boot, you're probably going to have more opportunities because you sponsored them and they want you to mentor them. Okay? But certainly you can market yourself. We're going to have a page on the website with business card templates. You can also download a banner. And if you got ideas for prettier banners, we're all ears. But the banner would look like this. If you look here, you've got market yourself, and it shows a banner for social media. Hey, if you're going to market yourself, it has to be social media nowadays. But you just let us know you want one. We put your name at the top. This is an example. Joe Hite, volunteer mentor. And then it says www.myshibboleth.com/sponsor/Joe. And then that members only thing would go away. But then there's a place for Joe's transformation picture or just a picture of Joe in a nice shirt, whatever Joe wants there. As long as he sends that to us, our graphic designer can put this together. Then you've got a banner that you put, because again, it's like old Doc Holliday said in Wyatt Earp, I'm proud to be a dentist. Wyatt Earp, are you not proud to be a lawman? I'm a dentist, and I am not ashamed of being a dentist. If you're into this, let no one despise you, and don't be ashamed to bless the name of the Lord. And let people know you're here to help them. Well, I still got 100 pounds to lose, but you've lost 70. Let the world know. Hey, they don't believe you can do it, hide and watch. All right? Just tell them, hide and watch me. I'm going to do it. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to help others do it too. That's how you do it. Okay? So we're going to give you tools to market yourself. We've already reviewed the website. Oh, let me get to that last slide. We don't want to talk about compensation here, but if you're trying to figure out, not as an employee, this is up to you to 1099 and that kind of stuff at the end of the year, but if you want to learn how to supplement your income by being a mentor, even though you know your heart, if first and foremost your desire is to help others and you do it for free, but you're still interested in how do I compensate myself through this process, send me an email. Let's don't talk about that publicly because it's offensive to some and makes them feel yucky. I don't know why, but it does. So if you're looking for compensation, I can tell you what you have to do for yourself to earn that compensation. Does that mean we'll never hire you on as an employee? No, doesn't mean that. One day, again, this is a great vetting process for us. We find the cream that's rising to the top. We may want to bring them on as a salaried employee. But this is a great way to vet those people that really want to be a full-time team member here. Because if you can't do this a little bit for yourself, you're certainly not going to help us. And we're not a profitable venture in that we have loads and loads of money to pay people to figure out if this is something they love or not. Hope that makes sense. But we do anticipate next year having to prepare somehow on how our small team supports so many people that will come and need help. So that's what this whole process is about for us. So if you want information on that, send me an email, travisjack777@gmail.com. There's no shame in wanting one day for this to be a career. And how do I do that? How did you do it, Travis? I'll be happy to tell you. travisjack777@gmail.com. Give me about 24 hours to respond. And this in the subject line, put mentor or ministry, something, just so I can pick it out because I get several hundred emails a day. All right. Any other questions? Questions, comments before we go? Was this a help to anybody, of interest to anybody? We don't have many people watching, but did it help anybody make a decision on what you wanted to do? And do you think this new feature on the website will be helpful? Will it help Shibboleth help others, this mentoring structure? Anxious to hear from somebody. Missy likes it. Thank you. I think that was to me. Thank you, Becky. You're going to be a great mentor. Can't wait to help you. Crystal, thank you. Thank you. Looking forward to God helping connect us with others that want to help people. Really do. Thank you, Randy. Pam. Thank you, Missy. Amen. God orders a good person's steps, right? And if we know the Lord, even though sometimes we ain't perfect, we still good people because God's what makes us good. It's His righteousness that's imputed to us as righteousness. Amen. Thank you, Devin. Thank you. Certainly can give you some purpose. I don't know what I would do. I've been down in Florida, as many of you know, longer than Sasha and I had anticipated. Everything under the sun, everything from us, well, are they not together? Yeah, we together. But we got a baby called Shibboleth that we both are passionate about. And sometimes it requires us working secondary work to make ends meet. You don't ever hear me talk about my job down there of trying to help manage some condo units because I'm not passionate about it. It's what I have to do to make some extra money that affords me and allows me the opportunity to do this. And you hear me talk about this all the time. This is my heart. And without this, life would be real tedious and tasteless. So, any questions, comments? All right, y'all. I sure do appreciate you. I've gotten, knock on wood, I've gotten well. That pneumonia is the main reason I got pneumonia. I wouldn't go to the doctor with a cold, and then I wouldn't go to the doctor with the flu. Well, it's finally sacked me, and I kept working out during that time. So when finally the Lord found a way to get me still, and actually did some listening for a change, and it's good to be back at it, and I hope I remain well. Can't take anything for granted anymore, can we? And be able to really get on fire before the first year. We got a challenge coming up. It's going to be a great one to end the year on. Orientation's next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Orientation next Tuesday at 6 p.m. And we're going to do the challenge will begin on the Monday after Thanksgiving and last for like 3 weeks. And then you get the rest of the year off for Christmas. And then we hit those New Year's resolutions hard in January. Thank you. I believe that's Pam, or is that Randy? Thank you. Thank you, Pam Price. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you again real soon. Bye, everybody. God bless.